Hi there, welcome to my page, Cat with Cards on Instagram. I have had an idea recently. I have been really wanting to improve my Irish for a really long time, and I haven't really been very successful in doing that. I'm not really getting anywhere with it. I have like a few words and I pop them into my sentences as I'm chatting away every once in a while, but my conversational Irish is nowhere. I'm not able to hold a conversation. So something I've been wanting to improve for a long time, not really knowing how. And then I was watching one of my favorite Instagram and YouTube tarot readers called Madam Adam. Madam Adam spoke about how tarot is a language that we as tarot readers have to learn in order to be able to read tarot. Obviously, there's like intuition and, being able to put the cards together and read them as a whole, but at its very basic level, there's a language that we all have to learn and understand before we can begin to use our intuition or use the cards in combination to make a reading. And that got me thinking about how I learned to speak tarot. I learned it quite quickly. The language for me, I picked it up pretty much straight away, but I'm struggling with Irish. So I was kind of thinking, how could I use maybe tarot to help me improve my Irish? So that's what I'm going to be doing. I want to look at each tarot card and understand what the name of the card is in Irish, what the keywords or the language of tarot is in Irish. So the keywords, the phrases that I would use if I was using them in a tarot reading, and I'm going to do it as Gaeilge. So I'm going to start with the major arcana, the arcana mór, as we would say in Irish, going from the Fool card, which is card 0, Cor to Nílis, all the way down to the World, which is card number 22 in the majors. I'll do the major arcana and then I'll see about the minors. I'll definitely do the court cards. Then I might do the suits. Whether I go into the pips or not, I'm not sure. The goal here is for me to improve my conversational Irish and hopefully at some point be able to do a reading as Gaeilge, fully in Irish. So how do we say tarot reading in Irish? We would say Léamh tarot or Ag Léamh tarot to do a reading, Dane Léamh tarot, do a tarot reading. So we're going to start with the Fool. So this is the Fool card. You can see it says 0 on it. So it goes from 0 to 21. There's 22 cards in the Arcana Mór. And the Fool as Gaeilge, the most common word I think in Irish for Fool that we would all have heard is Amadán. I would have been called an Amadán by my parents or by Múntóir at some point. But what I found in researching this is the word Amadán is actually for a male or someone who identifies as male. And there's actually another word for a female Fool, which is Ónsseach. And I have a couple of other cards here. And actually, if you look at this is a Rider-Waite-Smith card, illustrated by Pamela Coleman Smith. The person on this card, you couldn't really tell if it's a man or a woman. It actually does, to me anyway, look quite feminine. And I have two other decks here, some of my favorite decks, with the Fool card for both of those. And this is the Fool for the Lightseers Tarot. You can see such a beautiful card. And she is leaping off a cliff into the unknown. She doesn't have any idea where she's going. And then we also have this from the Tarot of the Sorceress. And sorry for the light shining here, but you can see here, this also looks like possibly a female person. So a female Fool, as opposed to Amadán in Irish, is Ónsseach. So that's another word that could possibly be used. When I was researching, there was a lot of words in Irish that could be used for fool. A lot of them were quite insulting or derogatory, which is not what that would really mean in tarot. There is gamal, which is like a clumsy, foolish person, or there's lúdramón, which is like an idle, lazy person. Neither of those really would work in a tarot sense. So there was one word that I came across which I thought was quite nice, which is plica, which is more goofy or playful. So the words that I would use if I was reading tarot and the Fool came up in tarot to say the Fool, I would either use Amadon if my querent was male or male identifying person, Onshak for female, or plica. I really like plica. I'd never come across it before. I think it's a really nice word. So let's get into the meanings or how you would interpret on plica in an Irish reading. So a lot of the keywords that we have for the Fool are like someone who is, if we're talking about a person, if it represents a person, they would be innocent, fearless, courageous, curious, full of excitement, potential. So there's a lot of words here that we can use. So dá beimish ag déanamh léamh tarot as Gaeilge, deirfear mis. So if we were doing a reading in Irish, we would say, is unan é seo duine neamhcheantacht nó sionantacht. So this represents an innocent person. Is unan é seo duine neamhcheantacht nó sonantacht. So neamhcheantacht agus sonantacht both mean innocence as Gaeilge. We could also say, she is courageous, tá she críoga. She is fearless, tá she gan agla. She is curious and full of excitement. Tá fisrach aki agus lán le scetamini. I love that word, scetamini. It means excitement. And that's such a cute word. So when the Fool comes up in a tarot reading, it speaks to new beginnings, a blank slate. So if you're giving a reading to someone and it comes up, you might say to them, you're about to embark on a new beginning, a new journey. So you could say, tá tús nua a curgat. Tá tús nua a curgat. You're embarking on a new beginning. Or whatever their query is, whatever the question might be, you could say to them, this is a blank slate. Is sklata bon é seo. Then what else you could say? A new evolution. Evolution would be avlod. So new evolution, avlod nua. There's a new evolution happening. Now, as we know, tarot cards have also a shadow side. If you read reversals, you might read the shadow side of the card. Even if you don't read reversals, depending on the query, you could be talking about the shadow side. So some words that would come up for the Fool in the shadow side would be, foolishness, obviously, amadacht, impulsiveness, which is riagach. Impulsive is riagach as Gaeilge. Lack of judgment, like, running into something without thinking, lack of forethought. And that would be aspa brehunas in Irish. So there are a few words in Irish that could be used in relation to or when you're doing a reading with the Fool. So, tá fáilte riamh chuirmí. I welcome your opinions on this video. What do you think? Am I being very foolish with my idea of doing this? Obviously, this is my first video and I'm learning and I don't really have a lot of Irish. So, I hope I will get better as the videos go on. The next video I'm going to be doing is the card number 1 in the Major Arcana, which is the Magician, Andreador. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm going to learn loads of new words, so I'm delighted for that. So I hope this video was interesting. I'm really excited about how it's going to go. So if you liked this, follow along for more. If you know of someone who might be interested in this, please do share this with them, and let's learn Irish and tarot together. Slán go fóill, gur míle maith agaibh.